You changed around this person, not because they told you to. In fact, they probably never asked. So why did it happen? That's the part most people don't notice until it's over. At first, it doesn't feel like you're losing yourself. It feels like you're trying to love someone well. You become more patient. You let more things slide. You tell yourself, every relationship takes work. And that's true. But there's a difference between working on a relationship and slowly working against yourself. Most people never see that line until they've already crossed it. Think about it. When was the last time you felt completely relaxed around them? Not careful, not guarded, just yourself. If you have to think about it, that answer probably says more than you realize. Because losing yourself isn't loud. It doesn't happen in one big fight. It happens in moments so small, they barely seem important. You stop bringing certain things up. You choose your words more carefully. You apologize just to keep the peace. You replay conversations in your head before they even happen. And after a while, being careful starts feeling normal. But here's what's really happening. Your mind isn't trying to make you happy. It's trying to keep you connected. Because when a relationship starts feeling unpredictable, your brain looks for control. And the easiest thing to control is yourself. So without realizing it, you stop watching the relationship. You start watching yourself. Maybe I was too sensitive. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I expected too much. Notice what just happened. They stopped being the question. You became the question. And that's where self-doubt quietly takes over. The confusing part is that relationships like this rarely begin with pain. They usually begin with relief. You finally feel seen. You finally feel understood. You finally feel chosen. Psychologists call this idealization. But when you're living it, it doesn't feel like a stage. It feels like you found the person you've been searching for. That's why the changes are so hard to accept. They don't happen all at once. Some days they're warm, some days they're distant. Some days they make you feel deeply loved. Then, without warning, you're wondering what you did wrong. So you start trying harder. Not because you're weak, because you're hopeful. You believe that if you can just explain yourself better, stay calmer, or love a little more, things will go back to how they were. But what if that's the trap? What if you aren't chasing the relationship anymore? You're chasing the feeling it gave you in the beginning. Those aren't the same thing. And realizing that changes everything. Researchers who study trauma bonds have found that people don't stay because they're weak. They stay because powerful emotional highs and painful emotional lows create an attachment that's incredibly difficult to break. The intensity feels meaningful. It can even feel like love, even when the relationship no longer feels safe. So if you've spent years blaming yourself, try asking a different question. What parts of yourself did you slowly put away just to keep this relationship alive? Your confidence? Your voice? Your peace? Your ability to trust what you felt? Those parts of you didn't disappear. They adapted. They got quieter because at the time, that felt safer. But adapting isn't the same as becoming. Here's what I hope you remember. You weren't becoming someone difficult to love. You were becoming someone afraid to be fully seen. There's a difference. The person you've been missing might not be the one who walked away. It might be the version of you who laughed without second-guessing herself, who spoke without rehearsing every sentence, who trusted her own feelings and never believed she had to earn the right to exist exactly as she was. She isn't gone. She never was. She was waiting. Not for them to change. Not for the past to come back. Just for the moment you finally stop abandoning yourself and start coming home to who you've been all along.